Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pita here today with another guide for you on how to get better at Brawl Stars. This video is a continuation of a series where I give you guys pro tips and tricks on how to play each brawler in Brawl Stars. As you may have noticed, this video is about Colt. Let's get into it. Alright, now Colt is the second brawler you can unlock from the trophy road at 60 trophies. He is a sharpshooter brawler who has 3 ammo slots and a pretty long range, especially if you have the star power that makes it go 11% farther. For his super, he shoots a massive burst of bullets that shoot farther than a normal shot, and they can destroy walls as well. For Colt's star powers, his first one, Slick Boots, increases Colt's movement speed by 10%, making him a very fast brawler. His second one, Magnum Special, increases his attack range and bullet speed by 11%. For his gadget, Speed Reloader, Colt reloads 2 ammo slots and it can be used 3 times per match. Alright, now I'm going to let you guys know, for all of you watching this video, that Colt has a very high skill cap, meaning that he's a harder brawler to play than most. But that's why most of you are here and watching this video in the first place, to get better at Colt. The first thing I have to say for Colt is to move in the same direction as your enemy and aim your shots. If you know what I mean by this, you could probably skip ahead a few seconds, but in greater detail, when you stand still and auto-aim normal shots, maybe 1 or 2 will hit the enemy. But that's not what you want. You want most, if not all, of your shots to hit the enemy. So, what you'll want to do is move in the same direction as your enemy and lead your shots where the enemy brawler is moving towards. In my clips on screen, you'll see me leading most of my shots. This is the best way to hit the majority of your shots and get the most use out of Colt. My next tip for Colt is to stay at a medium to far range. Colt has a pretty far range compared to some other brawlers in the game and does a lot of damage over a relatively small period of time. This makes him pretty good against tanks that have a pretty short range, such as Bull, Daryl, and Primo. You can get up close if you're about to kill an enemy brawler, but other than that, you'll want to stay at a medium to far range. For Colt's super, you'll want to use this in multiple instances. The first one is to break cover. Colt's super can be very beneficial in Brawl Ball because you can super on the walls in front of the goal, allowing your team to have a clearer line of sight onto the goal. Another instance you could do this is in Heist to break the walls in front of the enemy safe, allowing your teammates to have a better line of sight. The second way you could use his super is to melt down a tank charging at you. The more you play Brawl Stars, you'll often see tanks charge at enemy brawlers to try and get closer to do more damage. Well, if an enemy tank brawler ever tries to charge you and you're Colt with your super, why not super on them and follow up with a normal shot to finish them off? The third way I have is to finish off an enemy brawler who is low on HP, and the fourth way to use Colt's super is to damage an enemy brawler that's just out of range of your normal attack. So, now I'm going to move on to how to use Colt in each mode in Brawl Stars. Alright, first up is Gem Grab. For Gem Grab, the majority of the time you're going to want to take a lane as Colt and use your range to keep enemy brawlers back. If you want, you could move to the mid position, but he's probably better off in the lane. Keeping your range is a crucial part because of the fact that not many brawlers can challenge him. Along with that, use his range to push enemy brawlers to the center where your teammates can do a lot of damage to them. As for being the gem carrier, I would probably leave being the gem carrier to someone else on your team, since Colt is an okay squishy brawler, making him easy to get picked off. As for which star power, I would probably use Magnum Special, since you can get that extra distance to help push enemy brawlers back. For how to use his gadget, I would just use it to finish off an enemy brawler who is low on HP, or when you just need those extra bullets to do more damage. Next up is Brawl Ball. Now, Colt is not the best pick for Brawl Ball, but you're going to want to take mid majority of the time since Colt has a pretty long range and can keep the tanks back when needed. Also, he can do chip damage as well, helping push enemy brawlers back. Colt is not the best ball carrier, in which you'll want to leave that to someone else on your team, for example the tanks, since Colt doesn't have a whole lot of health. Same as Gem Grab, keeping your range is important for shredding tanks. However, this can be difficult due to Colt's high skill cap. For the star power, I would again use Magnum Special, giving you that extra 11% added on to your range, allowing you to keep enemy brawlers back and have a higher chance to do chip damage. For his gadget, I would again use it if you have no ammo left and you need to finish off an enemy brawler who is low, and also when you just need some extra bullets in general. Then we have Bounty. Colt is good for Bounty if you can hit your shots, but your ability with Colt mainly determines whether or not you should use him in Bounty. In Bounty, you could take either mid or lane depending on where your team needs someone, but like the last two modes, you're going to want to try and use your range to your advantage. If you're playing mid, you want to get as much damage as you can onto the enemy brawlers. If you're playing lane, you'll want to get chip damage off and push enemy brawlers towards the middle. As for which star power to use, again I would use Magnum Special just because it allows you to get the edge over enemy brawlers and have that extra 11% range. For his gadget, I would use it the same way as the other two modes, mainly when you need more bullets to crank out that extra damage and to possibly finish off an enemy brawler who is low on HP. Fourth mode we have is Heist. Now, your playstyle for Heist will be a little different compared to the other modes. In Heist, you'll want to take the lane and be the main damage dealer for your team when it comes to the enemy team's safe. If you have to, you can try to defend, but majority of the time you'll want to leave that to your teammates. By taking the lane, you can shoot the enemy team safe from a distance and make them come to you, taking them away from attacking your safe. With your super, you can also destroy the boxes in front of the safe, as I mentioned before, to allow your teammates to have a better line of sight onto the enemy team's safe. As for which star power to use, I would recommend, again, for the fourth time, Magnum Special. With Magnum Special, that extra range allows you to reach the box from a farther distance, making your role in the lane a lot easier due to the fact that you can be farther away from the safe and still do damage. Now, Colt's gadget for Heist, you're going to want to use it to do extra damage on the enemy safe when you're out of ammo. Those 2 extra ammo shots are going to allow you to do over 5,000 additional damage onto the safe, allowing you to shred it even quicker. Alright, now on to Showdown. For Showdown, you're going to want to keep your distance from enemy brawlers and go for boxes right away. The reason I'm saying this is because Colt can destroy boxes fairly quickly in that he has the possibility to open multiple boxes before other brawlers get near. If enemy brawlers do get close, you'll probably want to back off and try to charge your super a little, but make sure you can get the box safely if you're going to try and go for it. The star power I would use for Showdown would probably be Slick Boots, mainly because towards the end of the Showdown match, the zone ends up getting really small, and Magnum Special won't help you there except for dealing damage a little bit quicker. For his gadget, I would again use it when you need extra bullets or an enemy brawler is low on health and you have no ammo. Alright, the last mode is Siege. Now, there are better options for Siege instead of Colt, but if you are going to use Colt in Siege, I would recommend taking the lane wherever the first bolt spawns. With Colt's range and his fast rate of fire, you can easily shred through enemy brawlers and help your team gain that first bolt. For the star power, for the 5th time, I would use Magnum Special just because it allows you to get that extra range and it can help Colt reach the enemy team's Ike turret from farther away if needed. Also, you can start shredding enemy brawlers who go for the first bolt sooner since you have that added range. For his gadget, I would recommend using 1 for each siege bot that spawns. If you're defending against a siege bot, I would use your gadget to deal more damage to the siege bot or enemy brawlers who are trying to attack the Ike turret. If you're on offense, I would use the gadget to try and deal extra damage to the enemy team's Ike turret. Now, a few review tips include knowing that Colt is a very high skill cap brawler, and that he is a harder brawler to play. Also, majority of the time, you'll want to use Magnum Special unless you're playing Showdown, which in that case, I would recommend using Slick Boots. Alright, that wraps up for this video. Make sure to hit that like button and check out my other tutorials if you haven't already. Also, hit that sub button down below and I'll see you guys in the next video.